Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about the biggest mistake I made when I was first starting my business. And I'm going to tell you about the first real estate deal that I ever did. And again, the big mistake that I make that I do not want everybody else to make. I wish I knew what I knew now. I would have completely done things differently. I get hit with this huge taxable liability. So I'm going to share that with you here in a second. If you get value from these episodes, do us a favor, leave us some reviews and share these with your friends and family. Let's jump in today. So when I was first starting, I made this big mistake, like I told you, and I got hit with a lot of taxes. That mistake was selling all of my retirement accounts to basically buy this house that I was going to flip with a partner. And it did work out, but I actually didn't know that I could use my retirement funds to invest in real estate. I had no clue this was a thing. 401ks, some 401ks are eligible, IRAs, Roth accounts. Talk to your CPA because I'm not one. Don't listen to me before doing something like this, but go look into self-directed accounts. If you want a referral and you're interested, reach out to us. Happy to send you to the company we use. But you can basically take a portion of your funds that are in a current retirement account and convert them into a self-directed account, which allows you to then purchase certain assets as long as they meet certain guidelines. So again, go look up the rules, consult your CPA, make sure you consult with a company that does this so you don't get in trouble or do something wrong and get hit with taxes by the government. But this was the story about a house down in Shelbyville, Tennessee. At the time, I was driving around, and putting these bandit signs up all over the city that said, "We buy houses." And I had it connected to a Google phone number that when they called, my phone would ring and I could track all the calls. I could answer them. It went to a pre-recorded voice message. And this man named Jonathan happened to pick up the phone and call me. And I went down and I met with him at his house. And I think he was asking $80,000 for the house. I said, okay, all right, $80,000. And I noticed that the comps were selling for about $120,000 at the time. So it looked like it was in pretty good shape. So we put this sucker under contract and we went full blown steam ahead trying to renovate it. At the time, I didn't know what I was doing. I was calling contractors on Craigslist, which if you've never done that before, that's a no-no. That's where all the bottom guys go. That is not where you want to find contractors. I was driving an hour and 20 minutes to the house every single day. At the time, I lived really far away, so it was a very long drive, but I was excited. This was the first opportunity that I'd had to try to make some money, and so I jumped on it. And I showed up every single day to rehab this house with several contractors that I had. And oh my God, if you could just see the mistakes that I made. I ended up like partially staging this $120,000 house. Didn't need to do that at all. I ended up trying to dig it was like a drainage ditch for it by hand. Didn't know how to do that at all. It was literally pull this thing around, dig a path from here to the bottom spot and fill it with the gravel in a pot. I mean, I did not know what I was doing at all. Luckily, I was really on top of the contractors and ended up pulling off this rehab in, maybe 5-6 weeks. Didn't take too long with the right people and ended up selling that house and made somewhere around like $30,000 on it. Of course, I think our rehab budget was like $6,000. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It ended up being like, oh gosh, like $12,000, $13,000, $14,000, $15,000, which doesn't seem like a lot, but 7-8 years ago, that was a decent chunk of change, believe it or not. And surprisingly, we sold it and made somewhere around $30,000 on the house. I remember getting that first check from the title company being like, holy crap, I just made money myself. I'd never made a single dollar myself doing my own thing. In fact, I received that check 8 days before an ultimatum I gave myself, which was if I don't figure out a way to make money in the next 6 months, that I would just go and get another job. This was after I had been fired. And that check gave me something to believe in. And boy, was I motivated after that. The buyer was super happy. I was very pleased with the house. But if you could have just seen me up underneath, spraying little bitty patches of mold with bleach. I probably got up under that house 10, 15 times. I was just so worried that, something was going to go wrong. I wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted the buyer to be super, super happy with it. We probably over rehab some areas, but, looking back on it, I learned so much from that experience. And, funny enough, me having to get up at 5 a.m. and drive an hour and 20 minutes there and back every day, and selling all my retirement accounts to buy the house and managing it myself, doing contractor work, something I don't enjoy doing. I hate doing that. From there, things got a lot easier. Starting with the hardest possible thing, something interesting happens when you do that. You're able to make everything else that become behind it look a whole lot easier. And that is something I'm very thankful for. So all this to say, don't shy away from the difficult projects. You never know when something is going to completely change your life. Even if it is hard and sexy and doesn't look fun. So that's my story. That's my story of my first flip I ever did and how I sold all my retirement accounts to buy the house and renovate it and basically self-manage the entire deal. So, hope you liked it. I've got this house. If you check out my social media, you can probably see it on there from time to time. I post pictures of it. But anyway, we'll see you next time.